Chapter 13, Family Matters. You've just opened the door to a shocking surprise, Daisy's mother. Mom, hi. Hi, hun, how's my girl? I'm surprised to see you. What an unexpected and wonderful surprise. I had to come and see how you were doing, sweetheart. The last time you called, it sounded like you were going through something you couldn't fully talk about. But don't worry, I'm not here to pry. I've got a whole day of mother-daughter pampering, planned to cure what ails you. That sounds perfect. For Daisy, I can't possibly fool her mom a whole day. As you look around in a panic, trying to think of some way out of this, Faye comes down the stairs yawning. Hey, Miss Hawthorne. I thought I heard someone at the door. It's good to see you again, Faye. Faye glances between the two of you, noticing the barely concealed panic in your eye before turning back to Daisy's mother. I'm sure you have lots of catching up to do with my roomie, but could I borrow you for a minute? We're trying to replant the front yard, and Daisy told me you have a great eye for flower coordination. Of course! I like what you're trying to do with the petunias. I'll join you in just a minute. Faye gives you a thumbs up, and you shoot her a grateful look before darting upstairs to the safety of Daisy's bedroom. You hurriedly dial your own phone number. Please, please, please pick up. Hello? We've got an emergency. Your mother is here to see you, and she knows too much from me to lie to her. My mom, where's she? I don't know. All I know is that you need to get to campus now. I'm sorry, Rose, but I can't. What do you mean you can't? Is something wrong at the palace? Nothing's wrong. I just can't leave right now. I'm about to head into an important meeting. Just stall my mom for a few hours. I'll be there as soon as I can, okay? If this is our undoing, we take no responsibility. I'll do my best for both of our sakes. I believe in you. You're a great me. I will try to live up to that vote of confidence. I got a question. If we're both princesses, why don't we just come out with it? And then we can swap without even really much of an issue. I've gotta make this quick for Rosa's sake. You tuck your phone away and duck into a nearby parlor, where Aaron greets you with a polite bow. Thanks for making time to meet with me. Thank you for accommodating the opening in my calendar. Looks like I'm in more demand here than I was back in Ishmar. But enough about my social life. What's the incredible idea that you had to tell me about? You take a deep breath before sharing the idea that's been rattling around in your head ever since you got back from Ishmar. I want to host a charity ball in the honor of Adia. Clark never got to honor her memory the way he wanted to, but we can still give him a chance. Donate funds from the ball to cancer research. That sounds wonderful, but why are you only telling me? Because I want it to be a surprise for Clark, and you know him better than anyone. You should have led with that. Aaron pulls a sheet of paper out of his jacket and immediately begins jotting down ideas. Have you started on the menu yet, or decorations? I was hoping you could help with that. You've got more insight in Ishmari delicacies and things Adia would have liked. We could redo your ballroom's decor if you keep the court from having a fit about it. Serve some of her favorite pastries. Did she have any particular interest, things it would be fun to include? She was quite fond of animals. If you'd like to take the ball to the next level, one of my exes might be able to help us out. Because they were a total dog? Because she's an animal trainer. Rescues hawks, cubs, and other adorable creatures. Adia would have liked that kind of thing. I happen to know that Clark has a soft spot for animals, too. Most people do. Diamond choice. Bring animals to the charity bowl. I want this ballroom chock full of adorable animals. Well, I'll see how many he can bring while he's still leaving a little space for our human guests. And I'll leave you to it. We can chat later about the music and dance roster. While Aaron pulls out his phone and begins texting the trainer, you turn towards the door. Hang in there, Rose. I'm coming. But just as you cross the room, the door opens. Clark! Hey, there you two are. I know you've already had trouble entertaining yourself without me, but this is excessive. It's barely been 15 minutes. Yet in that time, you've somehow managed to rope the princess in on one of your schemes. Aaron gives you a panicked look as Clark turns to you, his lips curved in a teasing smile. What has my friend dragged you into? Aaron... Wanted tips on how to woo a Monterarian noble. You're only asking her for tips now? I wanted to test the waters with my natural charms first, but it turns out I could use a few pointers on, the dating etiquette. I hope they've been helpful. As much as I'd love to hear the princess's insights, I would hope Her Highness would join me at today's Royal Council meeting. Sorry, do you mean the Montarian Royal Council? Right now? Yes, and yes. I've been curious to see how your court runs things. Your father was gracious enough to allow me to attend, so long as I bring you. King Edmund assured me your schedule this afternoon was quite free. Of course he did. You glance out a window towards the city where Rose and your mother are waiting, and there's no way you can tell Clark that. I guess I don't have any urgent palace business. Excellent. I heard there's to be some riveting discussion of historical landmark allocations. You look anxiously over your shoulder as Clark offers you his arm and leads you deeper into the palace. Sorry, Rose, just hang in there a little longer. Yeah, a couple hours, you know. Back at the Delta House. Now that you've shown me every square inch of this house, twice, it's time to get our pampering on. Are you sure you don't want to see the basement? It's quite memorable. She means terrifying. No, most Olive. Now, I've arranged one of your favorite relaxation trips to start our day. She smiles at you expectantly and like she's waiting for the other half of a punchline. Think, Rose, what would Daisy do for a day of pampering with her mother? Are we... taking a historical tour? She seems fancy enough history. Yeah, I said history, like I was gonna go historics, but shh, don't. Visiting a fancy bistro. That would be me. Oh, except I don't want to sit there with the people. I'm gonna go with historical tour. You were the only one who taught me that feet deserve to be pampered before they tackle a proper tour. Which is why we're both getting pedicures before the historical tour. You glance helplessly out the window, but there's no Daisy inside. Wonderful, I suppose I'm really doing this. What did you say, Pumpkin? Nothing, I said pedicures sound wonderful. Is this something normal parents do? Just curious, because I don't have normal in my life. Half an hour later, you're reclining in a plush chair beside Daisy's mom. Oh wow, I had no idea how badly my feet needed a pumice massage. See? I knew this would help you relax. Thank you, Mom. Mom. My sweet girl, feels like forever since we had quality bonding time. As she smiles at you, it's hard not to think of your own mother in the years that have passed since you said goodbye. Yes, it's been way too long. So talk to me. How are you really feeling about the study abroad life? It's been nothing like I expected. There's certainly been some culture shock. Sometimes it almost feels like I've stepped into a whole new world. I know exactly what you mean. The first week of my vacation here, I kept forgetting which side of the road to drive on, or accidentally tipping the white waiters. Lucky for me, most people were understanding of my fox paw. Yes, we Montarians seem to pride themselves on their generosity. What helped you get used to your new life here? Making friends mostly, finding people I could connect with, people who understood me. It's so strange to think that one of those people was my father. I've learned that you can get through an ordeal in life, any of them, as long as you've got the right people by your side. And if you don't, you just really suffer for the rest of your life, but shh. And whether you find those people here or back in Ohio, no, we're not here. Listen, Ohio sucks. Don't even bring Ohio into this shit. You'll always have me in your corner, Pumpkin. She backed her arm, and even though she's Daisy's mom, hearing motherly advice again feels oddly comforting. You know, you're a very good mom. You're just saying that because I'm paying for the petties. No, I mean it. Not every mother would fly across an ocean just because her daughter needed a little support. Yeah, no, listen, my mother won't even get in a car, but you know, just to drive us somewhere. No joke. You wish I'm memeing right now, don't you? Well, if you think I'm great now, wait until you see the next stop of our pampering tour. We'll talk more at the end of the video. If you care. The National Museum of Natural History. I should have guessed. You must have visited 100 times already. Not as many as you think. I've been so busy with my school duties. Well, then I'm extra glad we're here together. But in a place this big, I don't even know where to start. Bouncing around, you spot a sign by the entrance advertising new exhibits. Oh, how about that wing hosting some of the royal jewels? Jewels, really? From a certified history nerd? I thought you'd want to see a walkthrough of 16th century statuary. Oops. You smiled back at her, thinking on your feet. I do want to see the 16th century statuary, and all the other centuries statuary. I'll just, it's just that a jewel exhibit is also highly historical. Every crown and necklace and tiara in the exhibit was held by a major figure in history. I can't argue with that. You wander the halls of the museum with Anna Hawthorne. I don't understand why we need to state first and last name, but admiring the surprisingly tasteful display of your family's jewels. These are gorgeous. See, I knew they'd be worth a visit. Honestly, they're much more fun to look at than those 19th century textiles you took me to see in Cleveland. Perhaps Anna and I have more in common than I would have thought. You visit the 16th century statuary together. Well, it must have been made by a very skilled artisan, but it's basically the same as the last 12 statues we've seen. You read my mind. And eventually you find yourself in the exhibit about Monterey's 20th century history. Oh Lord, am I feeling old? Look at these, the original uniforms of Theta Kappa Psi, the first original transplant of the American Greek society model in Europe. Oh, those awful Thetas keep following me wherever I go. Faye told me how the house was doing when I was helping her rearrange the petunias. I'm sorry you've had it so hard, Pumpkin. It seems like every time we take a step forward, we take 3 steps back, sometimes with a helpful shove from the Thetas. The Deltas have always been a resilient bunch. That's why I wanted you to join them, even if you ended up in a chapter in another country. Right, you were always a Delta at your university. Thank you, Daisy, for a detailed personal history lesson. Even if you had some setbacks, it sounds like you won the girls a lot of pledges. That's worth being proud of. I've tried my best, but tomorrow's Greek off is our last chance to pull this iron out of the fire. What if we don't win enough pledges? What if the house is shut down for good and we have to go our separate ways? I will, no matter what, but I won't. I don't want Faye and the others to lose each other. If you want my advice, honey, you need to trust your sisters. The Delta's strength has always been their individuality, and there are plenty of people who could use a safe place to be themselves. So trust your sisters at the Greek off tomorrow, and I have a feeling those people will find you no matter what. That's surprisingly good advice, though it is easier said than done. Thank you, Mom. I've been known to come up with pearls of wisdom every once in a while. Now, as your mother, I forbid you from worrying about the Greek off until the end of the day. We're supposed to be relaxing, and I plan one last stop on our tour. The conservatory? I've been dying to see it again ever since I left. I have a lot of happy memories of your father thanks to this place. Daisy's father, meaning my father. Was this where they met? About my dad. It's been a long time since you first told me the history. How did you meet? I remember it like it was yesterday. I was looking up the details on the Montarian Daisy when I bumped into someone straight into that fountain. I nearly fell over myself apologizing, but the man in the fountain wasn't mad. He just smiled at me. You first met my father by pushing him into a fountain and he smiled at you? He was very kind. The moment he climbed out of the fountain, he waved a security detail away and asked if I was all right. Security detail? Does that mean he was nobility? I assumed. He never liked to talk about his family, and since I wasn't in Monterey long, I didn't pry. That's why I never mentioned it before. So Daisy's mother never knew that he was royalty. We both went into the relationship thinking it would be just a short fling, but, well, she trails a hand along the edge of the fountain, smiling fondly. It meant a lot more than I ever expected, especially because it gave me you. I see. Do you ever miss him? She thinks carefully for a long moment. I did at first. We only knew each other for a short time, but we had a real connection. When I had you, though, you were all I could think about. You became my world. Well, that's incredibly sweet, Mom. I didn't come here to talk about my past, though. How are you really doing, Daisy? Me, I'm just... Don't say that you're fine, Pumpkin. A mom always knows when something's up, and you've been a little off all day. At least some moms know that. Off? How? Like you got something on your mind. Whatever's bothering you, you know you can talk to me, right? No matter what. You think about all the fun you've had with the Deltas, with Devin, how close it's getting to the end of the semester, which means the end of this adventure. I may not be able to tell the truth, but while I've got a chance for something motherly, I suppose I'm in a similar place as you were, figuring out a relationship that I know has to end. When you go back to the States? Yeah, exactly. When I go back home, I was wondering... What do I do if this person means a lot to me? The thought of never seeing him again hurts more than I ever expected. She rests a comforting hand on your shoulder. I understand that hurt, Daisy. But we can't always control things, like when a relationship will end. Why does it have to, though? Seriously, why does she have to go back home? Isn't the purpose of a college degree and everything else is to set off into the world wherever you may see fit? To leave the nest? Isn't that the whole purpose? The only thing we can control is how much we appreciate and care for someone while they're around. I'll try to remember that. You'll make it through this, Pumpkin. I know you will. Her confidence obviously is meant for, well, the real Daisy, but it warms your heart, and on an impulse you lean over and hug her. I was so surprised when you showed up on the Delta's doorstep, but I'm really glad you're here. I knew you'd need someone to talk to. Call it your mother's intuition. I just wish I could have taken you to the street fair. It was one of my favorite spots in the months that I lived here. The games, rides, and Ferris wheel could really remind you of home. It's if today's tickets hadn't been sold out. Tickets to a local fair. I bet Devin has a connection who could get us inside, and maybe he could join us too. Tickets, get your tickets right here. Get your tickets from the man with the connections, because apparently, like, I don't know, I feel about it. Don't give up on that fair just yet. I have a friend who, sure to know someone who can get us some tickets. Or at least get us in without needing tickets. A friend, Here's hoping Devin can work his usual magic. All we do is keep using this man. Because weirdly enough, that's something a lot of people do. But, you know. A few texts and a half an hour later, you and Hannah arrive at the fairground on the edge of the capital. Devin said he'd be here soon. Is he that cute guy who's waving to you? Sure enough, you spot Devin waving from across the crowd. He winds his way over to you, grinning. your tickets as promised. They weren't as easy to come by, but it was worth it for you, and, He looked expectingly at Anna. Oh, how rude of me, Devin. This is my mom, Anna. Ah, pleased to meet you. And you are? This is Devin, my date for the day. So this is the cutie you were talking about earlier? Possibly. Devin grins at you, his eyes twinkling with delight as he loops his arm through yours. A possible cutie. I'd better work harder if I want to reach definite cutie status. I'm confident you can achieve definite cuteness by the end of the day. You're both adorable as far as I'm concerned, but don't worry, I promise not to be too much of a third wheel. You could never be. It's nice to finally get to meet you. The three of you stroll into the fair thanks to Devin's tickets, admiring the booths and rides and line every pathway. There are so many games and booths and delicious smells. I can't believe the fair has been sitting right by the city and I've never set foot inside. It feels good to be back after so many years. I wonder... You turn around to see Daisy's mom vanish into the crowd. Did Anna... my mom just abandon us? I think she's following her heart. Look. Devin nods towards a booth where Anna's picking up several slices of cake. She rushes back over to them, beaming. I knew I recognized the family booth. Their cake tastes as good as it did 20 years ago. And I'd better try it. Mom's favorite cake. Anna watches you and Devin with bated breaths as you each take a bite of the cake. Oh wow. This is better than any cake I've ever had at the Delta's tea party. I wish I could get the palace chefs the recipe. And don't worry, you can go back there and, Julius and Cosetta tweaked the recipe a little last year. If you ask me, it only got better. When I first got to Monterey, I visited the cake booth twice a week. She was very plump back then. I had to do it, let's be honest. Oh, I did get a little sick after a month of so much cake, but it was only the tastiest month of my life. I don't think cake, a slice twice a week, is gonna make you sick. It sounds like reuniting with the cake was a real reason you came to Monterey. I'm glad to see my daughter, don't get me wrong. This cake might be the highlight of my trip. Now that I've tasted it, I completely understand. Come on, let's walk and cake. There's a lot more to see. Devin ushers you through the throngs of people and you stop by a tall structure, shaped like a thermometer with a large bell on top. I've heard of these before. They're tests of strength? Want to show us how high you can hit? How high? What, you don't think I can hit the bell? Oh, you'd nail it if it was a test of inner strength, but your outer strength? I'd like to see what you've got. Oh, go on, you two. I'll guard the cake. She gonna eat it. She gonna be like, I'm sorry, the cake just walked right into my mouth. You walk up to the machine, pick up the giant mallet and grip it tight. Good luck. I don't need luck when I've got strength. I'll swing the mallet daintily, meekly, mightily. With a ferocious roar, you slam the mallet down on the platform. Ding! Whoa. I told you I could hit it. It also, by the way, it's not just a test of strength, right? People typically screw up and they, remember, it's a little thing that pushes air up to make the thing move up and hit the bell. You have to hit it just right, too. That's the whole point. I should have never doubted you. Whoa, that's my daughter. One of the workers hands you a small plastic bracelet that says winner on it. Devin eyes it, unimpressed. That's the prize they're giving out this year. I won that bracelet fair and square. I know, but you deserve a real prize over here. He takes a beeline for the row of skee-ball machines where a worker hands him 5 balls. Me and my brother came here all the time. When we were teenagers, skee-ball was a big deal in our sibling rivalry. He throws one of the balls into the booth, landing an expertly placed shot. Nice throw! It's hard to see you and Dash as rivals. You get along so well now. There's nothing wrong with brothers being rivals, they can get along well. Yeah, now, but back when I had to keep my top spot as older sibling. Devin furrows his brow and then lands another shot, and another, and another, and another. The scoreboard lights up. And to this day, I'm still undefeated. Here, I thought Dash was the athlete of the family. Not when it comes to skee-ball. And since I got a solid 2,000 points, which prize do you want? He points to the side of the booth where a cluster of adorably huggable plushies wait for you to take one home. Alright, we've got the dragon, the cat, the lion, the penguin, and a bunny. Listen, cat, always. Going for the misfit of the bunch? Yes, I am, actually. It felt like the Delta thing to do. Besides, look at how cute she is. Evan takes the plushie from the woman working the booth and hands it to you. You gently cradle it in your arms like a baby. I'll call her Queen Agatha, after Her Royal Majesty Queen Agatha of 1720, who turned a wing of her palace into a cat sanctuary. Why am I not surprised that you know that? My girl's nothing if not a history lover. As you head through more of the fair, clutching your prize, with Devin on one side and Anna on the other, Anna suddenly clears her throat. Devin, all this cake has left me parched. Could you grab some water for me? Oh, for sure. As he walks off, Anna turns to you with a mischievous smile. So your date just went out of his way to win you a big plushie. It was sweet of him, wasn't it? I'll say, he seems like a real catch. Mom, he is a real catch, isn't he? Ever since I met him, being here has really started to feel like home. He's kind, generous, supportive. And he's cute. And he has all the connections, which get you everything you want. Because if he wasn't, and he was just like, well, I tried really hard to get you things to the fair and the club and not get you kicked out of the club and all this other shit, he wouldn't have made such a swell impression. I'm just saying, think about it. Think critically for a moment about it. Yes, Mom, and he's cute. Devin returns with a bottle of water and hands it to her. Alright, ladies, what are we whispering about? You share a playful look with her, who pats your shoulder and quickly chimes in. We were just wondering what you'd recommend next. Oh, that's an easy one, the Ferris wheel. Devin points up a large Ferris wheel as it slowly rotates over the fair. Let's do it. You all step up to the line and get ready to board as the previous riders make way for you. I think I'll ride by myself. The cake and plushie will be all the company I need. Winking at you, she tosses your plushie and her cake and nestles into her seat. Are you sure? I thought you and Daisy would want some bonding time. I've had 20 years to bond with my daughter. I've only just met this cutie Stuffy right here. She subtly winks at you as the ride slowly lifts her up. Guess that means we're on our own car, or in the next car. I won't complain about that. You and Devin slide in the next car side by side. It slowly lifts you into the air, the fairground stretched out below you. Thank you for coming to help me out, and yet again, you really have a bad habit of dropping everything for me, you know? I wouldn't say it's a bad habit. By the way, did you notice that Pixelberry's really on a fair thing this week? Actually, about this month, actually, because we've had numerous characters go to the fair. But I don't want to get in the way of your own life. I know you have your master's degree to worry about and your big article. I appreciate that, Daisy, but I've always been good at work-life balance, and I'd have to have an awful lot of work to keep me from spending time with you. You look over at him, meeting his warm gaze as the sun shines along his face. Devin... You lean forward, kissing him softly as you crest the highest point of the Ferris wheel. His hand cups your cheek as he deepens the kiss, your senses melting into the warmth of his touch. Honest confession, I was hoping you'd do that. I wouldn't mind if the ride stopped here. There's no one I'd rather be stranded with, but unless your mom's about to jam it for us, I think we're being dragged back to solid ground. A pity. You sit in a comfortable silence as the ride continues, leaning against Evan's shoulders in the afternoon breeze until the wheel carries you back to the ground. That was relaxing. I hope you two had fun up there. Listen, you could have slipped him a 20 to make it stop for 5 minutes. Or $1 a minute. Come on now. You and Devin smile at each other. We did. Wonderful. Though I think I'm gonna have to call it here. The jet lag is kicking in. You wind your way back to the fair's entrance together, where Anna gives Devin a goodbye hug. It was nice to meet you, Anna. Likewise. Daisy made you sound like a wonderful young man, and now that I've met you, I couldn't agree more. Well, I'm glad I could live up to the hype. He turns to you with a hopeful smile. See you around soon, Daisy? I'm sure you will. Anna smiles as Devin waves and heads off through the crowd. You seem to be feeling better now. Shut up, Mom! It's a strange thing to think. And having spent the day keeping up the ruse in front of your half-sister's mother, but you do feel lighter than you did this morning. Despite you trying to embarrass me, yes, I do. This fair, this whole visit, I need it more than I thought. I'm just doing what any mom would do for her daughter. Daisy really is lucky to have her. You lead Anna home to the Delta's house, where she gives you a big hug. I need to head to the airport, but I hope you had a good time today, hon. It meant more than I can honestly explain. Leaving already, Miss Hawthorne? I hope you have a safe flight. Statistically, she will. She'd be far more likely to die in a car accident. Well, pretty much. I can't believe your mom flew all the way from America to see you. My mom won't even drive 20 minutes. See? See? See what I'm saying? See? And that's our house for you. We're all very normal. Anna laughs, but over her shoulder you suddenly spot someone peering through the windows by the front porch. It's about time. Yeah, it took you a whole day. Like it went from morning to night. Thanks, fam. You hurry up to the steps of the house as Rose steps outside. There you are. Sorry it took me so long to get here. Did you survive without your mother guessing that her daughter secretly has a half-sister who took her place? Somehow, yeah. Now, to get in there and say hello to her while you still can. Thank you. Did you know there was a paranormal thing called a skinwalker that literally does this? They literally, like, take someone and they replace them. While Rose sneaks around the back of the house, you quietly step inside and spot the person you've been waiting all day to see. Mom! You race across the room and give her the biggest hug you've ever given her. Whoa, what's this, Pumpkin? We spent all day together. I know. This is your hug for the road. That's sweet, but what am I supposed to do when I board my plane? You're right. This is your hug for the sky. She laughs and gives you one more affectionate squeeze before letting you go. So, did you have fun today with, little old me? It was great, but it doesn't matter what we do. I'm just happy to spend time with my girl. And it was especially nice to meet Devin. I'm surprised you never mentioned your cute journalist friend before. Rose introduced my mom to Devin. I'm gonna need to hear that story later. Listen, this is a lot to unpack if you tell your parents now. Just do it. But right now, you put on your most disarming smile and shrug. Devin, right? I've been so busy, he must have slipped my mind. You certainly have been. I'm just happy you're meeting people, making connections. She glances at her watch in the door, clearly just as reluctant to leave as you are to see her go, so you seize the moment while you can. Mom, can I get some advice before you go? Always. There's so much I want to ask, but if I had to pick the biggest thing... I'm planning a big surprise party for someone I've met, but we haven't known each other that long, and he can be prickly. Do you think a surprise is a terrible idea? What if he hates everything I planned? I doubt that'll happen. You're the most thoughtful girl I know. If you trust your judgment and everything you know about this special someone, I'm sure it'll be great. Mom, you're the best. I hope you know that. I do, but only because a certain daughter keeps telling me so. It sounds like you should listen to her. If you ever need anything, just call, and I'll be on the first flight here, got it? You hug your mom one last time, holding her as tight as you can. Got it. Love you, Mom. I love you too, hon. As your mom's car pulls away outside, you find Rose waiting in your bedroom. I owe you big time for covering for me today. How did no one know the hair? The hair. Listen. The hair. No, listen. No, listen. How does this work? The hair is completely woven, completely different. She has a giant, like, chestnut ponytail, and the other one just lets it all out. Like, how... Different shirt color, too, mind you. How do... And this is supposed to be your mother. It's troubling me. It was no trouble. I mean, it was terrifying at first when I first thought she would figure me out any second, but after I managed to divert her suspicions, it was nice to spend the day with, well, a motherly figure again. It turns out that facing your mom really isn't nearly as scary as thinking about the Greek off. Oh, isn't that tomorrow? Are things really looking that bad? Yes, they are. Let's just say that if we don't get a win tomorrow, the Deltas are, how to put it, doomed. Can Rose rally the Deltas for the one last hurrah, or is it their house finished for good? Alright, without further ado, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And down in the description below, there are links to everything, and consider checking those out. There's also the join and thanks feature. Feel free to check those out as well. It's a great way of giving back for all the work that I've done for all these years. 3,600 plus videos. We're going on 37. I should really check on that. But let's just settle it on 3,600. You know, hey, if you're feeling generous, it'd be great. If you're not able to, I wholeheartedly understand. Just please share the channel, share the community. It's something that continues, is my goal, is my dream, really, to continue to grow this community, get as many open-minded, awesome individuals as possible in this community. And it's free. Think about that. Encouraging people to join a community and check out the 3,600 videos, tons of variety, is free. It's free. It just takes a quick second of your time, and it would make my time. So let me go ahead and get to what I have to say. First of all, no, seriously, like I said, think about it. Think about how we use Devin, and we get him to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. This book is bad for guys' mental health, if you think about it. And also the fact of everybody's expectations for guys. You know, a guy has to bring 110% of himself, and you just have to show up. Think about that. Yeah, no, there's some bad guys, I get that. There's some bad girls out there, I get that. But, you know, there's, especially now, since guys are starting to realize the game is rigged, guys are starting to just... I don't know, I still believe in chivalry, right? But guys out there are also starting to realize that, yeah, the game is rigged. And so they're just doing the bare minimum, and then they're like, listen, I'll buy you this meal if you give me some Mount Chickawawa. Like, no, that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know, you're supposed to do the things you need to do and be a man, but a woman needs to also be a woman, if you really think about it. Next up is my mom. Yeah, no, I just had my birthday, June 14th. Was probably one of the worst. It ranks in the top 5 of my birthdays that I've ever had. I've got no presents, no nothing, no cards, nothing, and it's whatever. I have no expectations. Again, when it ranks it in the top 5, it's meh. The fact of the matter is, it was 110 to 115 degrees on that specific day. There was no power. The AAP company intentionally cut the power, and made a bunch of people suffer. So, again, feel free to Google that. That was intentional. So that really sucked. And had to deal with that for a whole day. And the fact of the matter is it's just been something one after the other. And I'm just trying to keep my wits about me, right? Trying not to give in to the, we'll just go with sadness that you could have. You know, the whole YouTube thing. Remember, if you say a certain word, YouTube gets upset. So yeah, and by upset, they literally will delete your videos. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Love your beautiful faces. And hopefully you stay cool. Hopefully you're all right. Make sure to stay hydrated. For the rest of you who aren't dealing with the abhorrent heat that we're dealing with. Yeah, no. Hopefully you stay cool because the summer is only starting and it's only gonna get worse. Peace out.